Greetings and salutations, friends and gamers of all stripes. My name is GM Dave. I am your man behind the screen, and welcome back to episode 2 of Shadowrun Returns. Brief recap: last time we covered the introduction of the game, learned that a previous Shadowrunner that we used to work with, Sam Watts, had been murdered. So our job now is to figure out who killed him, and that has led us to return to Seattle, where we used to work with him. That's where we are now. We are in the Organ Grinders, essentially a chop shop, a legal chop shop for bodies, as they put it. The smell of death and decomposition wash over you, only slightly masked by the minty, fake fresh of industrial-grade antiseptic. Swing on over here, and Dresden. Hovering over the recently departed is a small dwarf whistling a tune. His broad grin says, "I love my job a little more than you'd want or expect from someone in the chop shop trade." As you approach, he looks up with a lopsided grin. There's something kindly in his eyes, though it might just be a stray reflection of chrome and surgical tools.
"Sorry, didn't expect any visitors at this hour. And some asshole at corporate took my receptionist. What can I do for you, ma'am?"
"Are you the coroner?"
"I'm John Dresden, the Organ Grinders branch manager here. So yeah, that makes me this franchise area's coroner too. And you are?"
"Akavel. I represent a man named Sam Watts." He frowns.
"Interesting. A dead man makes for a strange client. But what makes you think he's here?"
"Sam had a locator chip embedded in his skull. I followed it here."
"I see. Well, you're right. He's here. Not too many people know about the murder yet, though. The press haven't caught wind of it yet, what with it being all the way out here in the Barrens." "So, who told you he was dead?"
"Sam's digital ghost. When his heart stopped, I got sent a recorded message asking me to bring his killer to justice. Guess he had a hunch." The dwarf raises his eyebrows, a smile wiping the suspicion from his face.
Excuse me. "A dead man switch, huh? Fascinating. I was working on him earlier. He's over here." He's my second Emerald City Ripper victim. The third one was downtown."
"Ripper, huh? I guess the classics never grow out of style."
He sighs. "Not my title. That's what the Seattle press insists on calling the killer. All I know is that, like the original Jack, our Ripper knows how to handle a scalpel. This one's even more twisted. He or she always removes an internal organ from the victim."
"Delicious. A trophy hunter. What was it?"
"Watts's liver was cleanly cut out."
"How about the other lucky contestants?"
"The first victim's heart was missing, and the third had the spleen removed." "Dresden, get out here!" "I'm here about the new Ripper victim, Sam Watts."
Let's take a look-see here. Sam's body is half covered by a sterile surgical sheet, his face an ashen white, for the first time without a smirk on it. Below the chest there is a small, pencil-thin incision covered in dried blood. Beyond that, the corpse is immaculate. It would seem that the killer knew exactly what they wanted from him and took it. Next to Sam are several plastic envelopes containing the evidence found on his body. You can examine the evidence through the bag without spoiling it. I'm sorry for the nose scratching. My cat's dander started getting into my face, and it's starting to trigger my allergies. Let's look at the business card. Moving things around, you can make out that it's a card from a place called the Seamstresses Union. There is something handwritten on the back, but blood has made it illegible. Look at the cred stick. It's a standard, cheap, unsecured cred stick. No way of knowing what's on it without slotting it. Take the cred stick. You slot the cred stick into your PDA. 300 new yen is added to your account. Look at the purple shirt. Oh, man. Do we have a purple-shirted eye stabber situation on our hands? It's Sam's shirt. I guess not. Several of the buttons are missing, and blood has thoroughly soaked it. The bag sloshes a bit in your hand. Look at the handwritten note. You can only see part of the note, given the torn-off bits and bloodshed. Sam, I feel terrible that we argued. We have been so long. Say I'm sorry. See you there. Love, Jessica. Put down the evidence bag. Towering over the diminutive coroner is a homicide detective right out of Central Casting. If you ignore the tusks, pointed ears, and Neanderthal brow, you could smell his cheap aftershave from a mile away.
So, this new Rippervic, Watts, name's familiar. Didn't his mother kill herself a while back?
The coroner frowns.
So you insisted at the time?
He chortles.
Come on, she offed herself. I had it on very good authority. Now let's go, Dresden. Give me something to work with here. This Ripper case is my ticket to lieutenant's badge.
I've already posted everything I know. The killer stuns the target with a combination of drugs and magic, then removes a single internal organ while they're still alive. The perpetrator is most likely right-handed with a slim hand that knows its way around a scalpel. Has a decent understanding of human and metahuman anatomy, too.
So I'm looking for a whacked-out surgeon?
Not necessarily. I don't know any surgeons who still use scalpels anymore. These days, it's all done with computer-controlled lasers. Could be anyone from a military field surgeon to an antique medicine aficionado.
You're no damn help, dwarf.
The Lone Star detective finally notices you. You note his superhuman powers of observation.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the nobody who didn't hear nothing.
That's right. If you ever do hear something, I'll knock it right out of your head.
He looks back at the dwarf.
Dresden, get me more. I'm putting someone in a cell or a box this week and claiming my promotion.
And off he goes. Dresden looks amused.
Do you always make friends that easily?
I'm great at dinner parties, too. He cocks his head to one side. Be straight with me. You really gonna work for the dead man? I'm going to bring his killer to justice. At least street justice. Fascinating again. Detective McCluskey isn't interested in anything but Detective McCluskey. He'd convict his own mother if it meant another $10 million a week in his paycheck. Plus, he's on the take. Dresden pauses, considering. You have honor after a fashion. I try to honor the dead in my work, so we have that in common. What can I do to help you? McCluskey's on the take. Who's paying to hold his leash? I don't know, but someone with major pull has been looking out for McCluskey's career and wallet. What was it McCluskey said about Sam's mother? The official report is that she committed suicide about a year ago. Sounds like you disagreed with the findings. My name's on the report, but my actual findings left some doubts. I can't say it wasn't a suicide, but there were unusual bruises on her upper arms and she didn't use her dominant hand to pull the trigger. I was told to drop it, so I dropped it. What are organs worth these days? A whole healthy human body can be worth a bunch of million, but individual organs, not worth as much anymore. What with all the synth and cyber stuff on the market these days. Organ Grinders only deals in the recently deceased. There's plenty of other chop shops that aren't as picky, though, and they don't care where the bodies come from either. Who still uses scalpels? Doctors still learn how to use them in their first year of medical school, as do coroners, but neither profession uses them much anymore. It's possible some of the slimier chop shops still use scalpels, I suppose, but I wouldn't know where to look. Okay, well, have you heard of this seamstresses union? It's a nearby club in the Barren that attracts lowlifes. You'd probably like it. Me, I'm not really the going-out type. Always too much to be done around here. Plus, the dead are just easier to get along with. I just need to know one more thing. Where was Sam Watts killed? Dresden looks up at you intently for a moment before speaking. You know, I may be able to do you one better. Why don't you go poke around those body lockers in the back and see if you find anything useful? Okay then. I'll go do that. First, I'm going to steal your medkits over here. And come on, take that. The cold storage drawer is labeled John Doe, but the internal thermostat is set to 21 degrees Celsius. Open the drawer. The cold storage drawer opens to reveal the fully clothed body of a man, arms folded across his chest. In addition to sporting some of the brightest orange hair you've ever seen, his body seems to be in very good condition. Whoa, easy there. In one quick move, he jumps down from the drawer and stands before you. For someone who just woke up in a morgue locker, he seems unfazed and pretty well put together. You spot the data jack drilled into his temples and some shamanistic tattoos peeking above his collar. An interesting combination. I told John to wake me at 6 in the morning. Is it 6 yet? Doesn't feel like 6 yet. You were just sleeping in a freezer. A freezer for dead people. Don't tell me you haven't considered it. Cheaper than a coffin hotel, and the service is just as good. He chuckles. Well, so much for a good night's sleep. On the plus side, I noticed you haven't killed me yet, so that's good. If you aren't after me, then what's your story? The latest Ripper victim, did you know him? I'll ask the questions. What the hell are you doing in a morgue drawer? Well, playing dead, mostly. A bunch of gangsters out there want my head, and I'd rather keep it. Figure I'd lay low for a while, give them some time to cool down. Jake yells towards the other side of the room. John! Is this lady cool? Yeah, she's on the level. Working for Sam, believe it or not. Some sort of dead man switch. Thought you could help her out. Maybe even stop moping around the shop all day. Thanks for volunteering me. He pauses. Might be sizing you up, but it's hard to tell behind those shades. All right, then. The name's Jake. And you are? Nice to meet you, Jake. I'm Akavel. And well-mannered, too. Such a rare thing in this city. Well, it sounds like you're taking a dive into the deep end here. John's right. I might be able to help you out, but I was with Sam the other night. The night of the murder. Poor guy. He was hanging out at the Seamstresses Union that night, tripped out and rowdy. I've been laying low there for a few days after a bad run. Mrs. Caputa asked me to throw Sam out, so I did, but out in the alley, some gangers got the jump on me. He winces. Damn, maybe I need some soy calf after all. John, could you grab me a cup? Get your own damn cup! My hands are dirty anyway. What's wrong with this intestine? You hear a loud squelching sound as Dresden continues his work. Thanks, John. You're a real pal. Anyway, there's a big fat court bounty on my head. Like I said, my last job didn't exactly go according to plan. Out in the alley, a few Halloweeners got the jump on us. Damn gangers thought they could turn a quick profit off my head. Jake smiles, and you get the impression that didn't work out so well for the gangers. Sam stumbled off during the fight, though, and that's the last I saw of him. Until he turned up here, dead on arrival. Reminds me of my last stay in this place. Great, so you don't know anything about his death. I know they found his body a block away from the Union, just lying there in broad daylight. That's the Barrens for you. Jake looks down, his expression masked by chrome and crimson glass. Shame, though. Wish I'd been there. If those slagging gangers hadn't come along. Tell you what, you look like you can handle yourself in a fight. I could use some backup to settle the score with those Halloweeners out there. The leader's got a whole gang searching the Barrens for me. I need to get rid of that asshole. In return, I'll take you to the place Sam was murdered. It's not safe to hit these streets at night, alone at night, trust me. Jake eyes you up and down. Maybe I'll throw in some decent supplies while we're at it. What do you say? I do like a bit of street justice every now and then. All right, Jake, count me in. Great. I've been hiding out here ever since that run-in with those Halloweeners, whiny bunch of gangers, but this stretch of the Barrens is their turf. Hell, I'm surprised you even made it to this morgue in one piece without packing some heat. He yells over his shoulder. Very funny, Jake. You could sleep in the dumpster tomorrow. So, you need a weapon? I like to keep my distance. Got a rifle? You don't like library windows, do you? Never mind. Here's a rifle you can borrow. So, ready for an evening out on the town? Just a minute. Tell me about these gangers first. Well, they're one of the nastier gangs in town. Their symbol is a flaming jack-o'-lantern, but you wouldn't like their version of trick-or-treating very much. Around here, they're led by a troll named John Paul. He's got all the Halloweeners in the Barren looking for me. We take him out, maybe I can breathe a bit easier. If you're buying. Hey, I've already provided the party favors. We can leave whenever you're ready. I am ready now, as it happens. Let's see, I believe I got a little bit of karma. So let's go ahead and why don't we I think drop a point in dodge for now. Or no, let's save the karma actually. Let's go ahead and just save that. I'll go ahead and head on out. The Redmond Barrens. Run in the Seattle sprawl and sooner or later you'll find yourself in the Redmond Barrens. It doesn't matter your business, the Barrens doesn't like you. Take 1 part radioactive wasteland, 3 parts dog-eat-dog slum, and a dash of tourist trap, and you've got a recipe for mean as hell. You leave the sanitized death and formaldehyde of the organ grinders behind, entering the anarchy and desperation of the streets. Jake stops a moment to breathe deeply, filling his lungs with motorcycle exhaust, radioactive dust, cordite, and who knows what else. He exhales with an expression of wry contentment. The stench and grime tell him he's home. Sounds like when I lived in City Heights. Find Jake's stash around the corner in the alley. Alright. Hidden in the garbage-strewn alley is a high-tech safe with a mag card reader in the front. Open with Jake's mag card. With a smooth hiss, the safe opens to reveal a collection of gear that is perfect match for your skills. You take the gear. My, how convenient. Aw, ain't that cute. Yeah, like I mentioned in the first episode, a lot of these early fights, you just get straight ambushed without really much to do about it. So... just gun him down. And Jake's got just a pistol and his fists. There we go. So welcome to the Barrens. Guess I'll need to find a new spot to hide my gear. Good dead drops are so hard to keep. Same dreck in every city. So I shouldn't invest in real estate around here. Only by the hour. Hey, you've seen where I stay the night. Now that you've got some gear, let's go deal with those Halloweeners. Alright then, Jake, let's go deal with those Halloweeners. And let's take a look at what the gear he gave us was. So, yeah, 3 medkits, frag grenade, I believe, yeah, frag grenade, concussion grenade, and a revive. No cyberware yet. I do plan to get some cyberware a bit later on once I actually have some money to do so. Worried man. The man before you appears well-mannered but nervous. Excuse me, ma'am. I don't know you, but you look like you can handle yourself in a fight, and we need some help. What's your problem? You know, go with a little bit of that honor. Calm down. How can I help? Oh, thank you. Some street thugs are taking down the market we've set up here. It's been getting worse lately. I don't think we can afford to pay them forever, but no one will stand up to them, and Lone Star isn't about to get involved. Where's this market of yours at? It's just down the street, ma'am. Please, our livelihoods depend on this market. Let's go ahead and talk to Sarah real quick. Clothes may be dirty, but this woman is far from downtrodden. Hey, not that it's my business, but I wouldn't go that way. Why? What's going on? Just some Halloweeners stirring up trouble again. She points to the south. They rode in this morning on those fancy bikes. Set up camp in the old street market. They've been marching up and down the street all day, shaking down anyone that wanders past. Typical. Well, odds are those are the guys we're after. Anything else I should know about these gangers? Well, their leader's a big old troll named John Paul. Real piece of work, even for a wiener. Yep, that's him. Jake checks his pistol. Sounds like a friendly bunch. You going to be safe out here? She laughs. You think I'm dumb enough to get caught out in the open by one of those assholes? Nah, I know the streets like the back of my hand. Worry about your own skin. They're going to be in for a rude surprise. You might want to clear out before the shooting starts. She looks you over, then nods. Don't need to worry about me. I know how to lay low. They're a tough bunch, though. Don't say I didn't warn you. We're going to go ahead and take care of the market first, actually, to this little side mission. There it is. Commerce is like a weed, taking root in the cracks and crevices of the world whenever it can. A small street market has flourished here amidst the crumbling buildings of the Redmond Barrens. Barely have anything left. Not my problem. Pay up by morning or else. The thug attempts to use his bulk and hideous breath to intimidate the shopkeeper. The old woman is holding firm, but you can see the thug's patience fading fast, and he looks like he's about to start breaking things. Who the hell are you? Bet your mom's real proud of you right now. Heard about you, why don't you piss off? We could go the gang etiquette. Hey man, I'm with you, but I saw a pig rig cruiser just a block down. Might want to come back tomorrow. That doesn't solve the problem for good, though. Heard about you. Why don't you piss off? You ain't a Halloweener. Why don't you buzz off? Because I'm sick of gutter punks like you. I knew you were just looking to cause static. Dash! ISIS lady! Oh, Sam can see ley lines. Or not Sam. Why do I keep calling him that? Jake. That works. Mrs. James. We earned a karma. I cannot thank you enough. I hate to see such bloodshed, but those men would not take no for an answer. We simply want to make our way in the world. The shopkeeper holds out a few million. Please, it's the least we can do. Take it or leave it. Take it. 48 million. And here we have the Halloweeners. But let's go ahead and explore down a little bit, see if maybe we can't find anything else interesting. Vlad. As you approach, the man sizes you up. You can see the age-old flight-or-flight equation running behind his drug-clouded eyes. Beneath the track marks on his arm, you spot a set of tattoos that indicate that he is, or at least once was, a shaman. Hey man, are you okay?
Yes, no, yes, no. I saw something. It's going to kill me.
Calm down. I'm Akavel. What's your name?
My name is Vlad.
Vlad, those are some nice tattoos. Are you a shaman? The word shaman strikes a chord. He seems to shake off some of the mental cobwebs.
Yes, I am a shaman.
I thought so, Vlad. What did you see?
Yes, I saw something. The other night I saw a spirit so dark, so alien that...
Vlad trails off and shudders. Where did you see this spirit?
Just across the street from the Seamstresses' Union.
It's gone now, Vlad. It's not going to kill you. You're safe.
Thank you. I think you're right. I feel better now. More whole. Now I think I need some sleep.
Interesting little bit of flavor, so I'm guessing he probably witnessed part of the murder. Here, coming... Yep. Got the jack-o'-lantern there. Halloweener territory. Halloweener sentry. Hey, asswipes, take another step forward. We're gonna plant you right there. This is Halloweener property now. This is one of the two that got away. If I hadn't missed my shot, these idiots would have given up and moved on by now. Wait a minute. You're rolling with Jake? Bad idea, chummer. The Halloweeners are collecting that bounty. And killing you? Well, that'll be a nice bonus. Again with the ambush. Back to the single shot, behind cover. Here comes John Paul. Thanks for coming right into range, buddy. Whoa, Uncle! I was just playing with you. I'll call off the rest of the Halloweeners, Jake. Call it even, yeah? Dirtbags like you don't need second chances. There we go. Halloweeners dealt with. So now we'll go ahead and check out the murder site. Let's see if there's any, I don't think there's anything to pick up in here, but it doesn't hurt to kind of wander through and make sure. Alright. And... sounds of laughter and music emanate from within, but you should finish your investigation first. This guy's a vendor. The smell of fried food, powdered sugar, and slightly burned soy calf is almost enough to overpower the dusty stench of sewage on Redmond streets. The troll working the stand is covered in food stains older than he is.
What can I get you, Summer?
Did you see the murder in the alley across the way?
Nope, it was closed when it happened. But hey, it's the Barrens. Back alley killing's nothing new around here. The only reason the cops are making a big deal about this Ripper business is some of the victims are real people. You know, folks with sins.
What can you tell me about the Barrens?
The Barrens? Hell, if you have to ask, you probably shouldn't be out here. This stretch we're on is called Touristville, though, and I suppose it's the closest thing around here to respectable. Fewer muggings, and you might even survive the drinking water if you're lucky. Wouldn't recommend it, though.
Scratches his armpit.
Now, behind me, that's the Seamstresses Union. You want drinks, drugs, favors, or information around here, the Union's your spot. Hell, that place is the reason I'm in business. Folks get the munchies when they party. Mrs. Kubota owns that joint, and she's quality. A hard woman, but fair.
I'll take a jelly donut and a soy calf.
Enjoy.
Sally, little dwarf lady. What do you got to say, Sally? The dwarf merchant is packing up her stand for the night. I'm closed. Come back tomorrow. You've got a great view of that alley across the street. Don't suppose you saw the murder that happened here? She grunts. Sure. I was closing up when I heard a series of explosions from behind the Union. A couple seconds later, this guy comes out, runs across the street. Didn't get a good look at him. Then all the lights in the alley exploded all of a sudden. Things got pretty quiet after that. Thank you for your time. No problem. No need to harass her. No good reason why she would run over there. Just to see what happened. So we'll go ahead and we'll finish up here pretty soon. As you approach the scene of Sam murder, Jake spies the flashing red and blue of lights up ahead. Whoa, hold up a minute. Lone Star isn't above collecting on a core issue bounty, and the one on my head isn't going away anytime soon. He sighs. Sorry, friend. I think this is where our paths diverge. Thanks again for the help with those Halloweeners. Here's your payment. They don't take Nguyen where I'm going, and you look like you could use the funds. Likewise, Jake. Give me a call when you're in the clear. Yeah, sure. He starts to leave, then tilts his head back. Hey, one more thing. When you're done checking out your pal's crime scene, pop into the Seamstresses Union It's just down the street. You need gear, information, or just a damn stiff drink? That's the place to be. Best dive this side of Chicago. I used that place as my base of operations for years back in the day. Make the right friends there, and I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of this Ripper business. Well, nice knowing ya. Jake turns and disappears into the shadowy depths of the Redmond Barrens. So we're going to go ahead and we'll finish this little section with the investigation, then call it when we get to the Union. William. The bright yellow police tape cuts through the darkness, directing your eyes to the white chalk outlining and a dark red stain marking a slab of pavement where Sam Watts died. Standing at the entrance to the alley is a Lone Star officer. The cop looks cold, hungry, and irritated at the homeless man who's currently pestering him. I keep telling you I need to get my stuff from the alley or I'm gonna die in the cold tonight. The officer sighs. And I've been trying to explain to you this is an official Lone Star investigation, and I can't let anyone in here. Hey, I got rights! Look, you sinless garbage, I've got a job to do. Find a new blanket, or I'll find a reason to use my stun baton. Typical. I hate all you pigs. He looks in your direction. Now what? Long night, You looked cold, so I picked up a donut and some soy calf for you. Hey, thanks. The officer's face lights up as he takes a sip. He seems pretty trusting for an officer of the law. You know, when my dad was a cop, this was back when cops actually worked for the government, he said folks would buy him coffee all the time, but I ain't seen it until now. So what can I do for you? I'm actually working for the dead man to help find his killer. Can I come into the alley and look around for a bit?
Your client is the chalk line?
That's messed up, woman, but I respect it, okay? But I respect it. Okay, but don't mess anything up. Not that anyone would likely notice, because forensics aren't coming back. The streets have not been kind to this man, but they've hardened him. This man is clearly a survivor, the one wrestling with the onset of age and arthritis.
I saw you over there with that rat bastard cop. What do you want?
Know anything about the murder that took place here? He squints at you, suspicious.
You a copper? Or looking for some corp?
Nope, I'm as sinless as you. Mind answering a few questions?
Hey, what makes you think I'm sinless? Just messing with you. Of course I'm sinless. System ID number, my ass. What kind of questions you got?
Did you see the murder?
Nope, and I can't say I'm sorry I missed it. I was hauling crates for Mrs. James up at the market. Can't carry as many as I used to, so it took a while. Got back here in time to see a couple of tourists puking all over my home turf. By then that jerk-face in uniform had already set up shop in my alley.
Sounds like you live in this alley.
Sure, for the last couple of months I've been sleeping here, but I spend my days out doing odd jobs for street merchants or panhandling tourists over near the Seamstresses Union.
What else did you see that night?
Well, earlier in the night I saw a big and ugly troll in a green hospital scrub snooping around the block. He bought some donuts and 2 cups of soy calf off of Dan over there. Seemed nervous, and he did everything. And he did everything with his left hand because his right was all screwed up with some cyberware.
Can you tell me more about the cyberware?
Well, it was big, and I think it must have had some hospital attachments because I saw needles. It was a lot like one I saw back in 44 when I got captured by elves. They did all sorts of experiments on me, let me tell you. Never trusted one of them cyber people.
That's all I need to know.
See you around.
This looks like the coat and blanket the old man was trying to get back. Examine for evidence. As you shuffle around the bundle of cloth to the side, a printed receipt falls out from beneath the folds of the blanket. It's a bar tab receipt from the Seamstresses Union, dated 2 days ago at 3:02 a.m., right around the coroner's reported time of death. The customer, Sam Watts. The server's name is listed as Coyote. Pick up the coat and blankets. This work light is new. You can see that all of the alley's normal lights have been ruined. Upon closer inspection, it seems they've all imploded, as if some force shattered them all at the same time. Amidst the shards of glass from the broken lights, you find a small piece of glass which looks like the bottom of a test tube. There are 2 distinct sets of footprints, a human's ending at the chalk outline, and a larger set, possibly orc or troll, following just behind the first. I think this coat and hey there, young'un. I think these coat and blankets belong to you.
My stuff! Mighty decent of you. Don't see that kind of thing too often out here.
Every little bit. Well, I think we're just about finished up here. So, smell of food, powdered sugar. You sell some donuts to a troll wearing scrubs last night?
Maybe. What's it to you? I sell a lot of donuts to a lot of people. I know how Lone Star profiles metahumans. I tell them about a troll that bought donuts from me right before a murder. They'll haul him in just to see if anyone will pay the bail. Not today, my friend.
See you around. A good sign of the sort of world you can expect in a cyberpunk setting. So we're going to go ahead, we'll head into the Seamstresses Union and call it after reading the intro. Confirm. The Seamstresses Union. Relative to the rest of the Baron, Toursville is neon-clothed oasis. At its heart is the Seamstresses Union, housed in an old brownstone building on the corner of Illegal and Opportunity. Bums huddled together, gangers strut the streets, and the occasional salarymen come slumming. The Union building has been retrofitted, rebuilt, and restored so many times it's like an aging starlet wearing too much makeup in an attempt to stay young. The wild ivy growing out of the gutters adds to this effect. As you enter, the murmur of hushed conversation washes over you. The dive bar denizens raise their head, take your measure, and then go back to their business. This is the kind of place where everyone knows your name but keeps to themselves. And just like that, we've reached the end of it. So, friends and gamers of all stripes, I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of Shadowrun Returns. We've learned a lot of interesting stuff about the death of Sam Watts. Be interesting to see how things unfold going forward. If you liked the video and you'd like to see more, please feel free to leave a like and a comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon if you're looking for more tabletop gaming related content. Be sure to open up the description box down below to follow me on my social media accounts. Mine.com in particular is an important one to follow me on because I will put notifications of other projects I'm working on there as well, not just notifications of my videos. And with that now said, dear friends and gamers of all stripes, as usual, my name is GM Dave. I am your man behind the screen, and it is my sincere hope you continue to roll high, roleplay well, and game on.